This segment is entitled Detailing or Dimensioning Your Drawing. Creating Dimensions, I guess is what the book calls it. The first step is to select the Annotate tab, which is already selected on my screen, and then the Show Model Annotations icon. Next, you need to hold Control and select the 4 views in your drawing. I'm doing it on the drawing tree. And it will drop all sorts of dimensions everywhere, and hit Select All and OK. Now you'll notice this is a gigantic mess and impossible to read, and it's your job as the designer or detailer to make some sense of that. The first step is a little bit of housekeeping again. You'll notice my Detail A doesn't show one of the features that is shown on page 307, where they have the drawing detailed the way you want it in figure 840. So we need to change our detail area to show well, essentially more of what we need. We need to see this edge right here. It's kind of hard to see in this view because there's so many dimension lines there. But the way to solve that is on your drawing tree, go to Detail A, right click, Properties, and where it says Spline Boundary on Parent View, Spline Defined, left click once, and that allows you to draw a new spline. And this time I'm going to make sure I go below this edge, and once I have that shape more or less defined, I'm going to hit the middle mouse button to complete the spline and hit OK. And if you check your drawing, if you did it correctly, you will now have that edge which we need to dimension. The next step is to move some of these dimensions off of the front view where they tend to be heavily populated and onto other views. To do that, you'll probably have to expand the name of the view here. This is New View 2. On mine, it's probably New View 1 on yours. Click this arrow, and then under Annotations, this arrow as well. And that gives you a list of all the dimensions in that view. So the 3 dimensions I need to move to Detail A are 0.12, 0.5, and 0.32. So this is kind of a game of hide and go seek. And the 0.12 I'll click on, and on my left hand side, Model D16 is highlighted. It may be a different number on yours, most likely it will be. Right click on whichever one is highlighted, go to Move Item to View, and select Detail A. And you'll see the witness lines there. And we need to do that for the other 2 dimensions. Here's 0.32 and mine hiding down below. Move Item to View and Detail A. And I should have a 1/2 inch dimension hiding around here somewhere. And right click, Move Item to View, and they all drop into place. Now you need to reposition these however works best for you to make it look clean. Excuse my sons, they're making a little bit of noise here. The next step, if you kind of breeze through here, is to well, we move this diameter 40 dimension. We're going to put a hole depth on it and delete this 0.1 dimension. And before we delete it, we need to make a note, a mental note, or write it down, which dimension that is. So scroll down, and on mine it's D43. I can remember that. On yours, you'll have to see what it is and write it down or remember it if you need to. Delete that dimension, and find diameter 40. Right click and move to New View and our right hand view. And now we'll have to expand most likely our right view, and right click on D42 Properties, and under Display we need to add a depth callout. So use text symbol and depth, and then we need the and symbol and the name of that dimension we deleted. On mine, I believe it was D42. Nope, D42 is my current dimension. It was D43. And hit OK. And you'll notice the dimension now has a whole depth call out in addition to the diameter. And let's look at properties on this one again. I don't like the way that display is. My arrows, why is it showing the wrong arrow? Well, in this case, I'm going to leave it for a moment. Something we can deal with later. What I don't like is it showing the arrow on both sides. I'm going to flip the arrow and see what that does. That's not what I wanted either. I'll flip it back to the outside a second here. We'll deal with that as it is for the time being. Oh, there we go. I got it. The next step is on your own, go through and lay out the dimensions as shown in either figure 480 or 485. And once you've done that, we will pick up and continue the creating dimensions part of the tutorial.